What is up, though, Lions fans? It's your boy Motor City Don P back here once again, and you already know what time it is when you see me in front of your TV. You know, one thing is for certain, and three things are for sure. Number one, the Motor City Cats are indeed back at it. Number two, we came to give you stats and not none of that static. And number three, number three, perhaps the most important number of them all. We want to make sure you keep your Lions news pragmatic. And you may be asking yourself, how, Don? How, Mr. P, does one keep their Lions news pragmatic? Well, it's a very simple process, and I am glad that you asked. 3 parts. Smash like button. Subscribe. Share. And no matter what the order is in which you do these things, when you do these things, you have done those things, and you have kept your Lions news pragmatic, and that is what is the most important part. Hold on here. Why would that happen? Alrighty. All right. I just realized I had made a mistake with something that I had done. That's crazy. My stream was unlisted. So, yeah, this is going to suck. All right. Anyway, once you have done these things, you have kept your Lions news pragmatic. And whenever you have shared with your uncles, your cousins, your aunties, your mothers, your brothers, your sisters, your fathers, your neighbors, your nieces, your nephews, your grands, your halves, you name it, you have indeed cared about these people, because sharing is caring. So many things. Sometimes you just I tell you, it's been a long week. It's been a long month. It's been a long year. It's been a long time. Shouldn't have left you without a dope beat to step two, to step two, step two, step two, step two. Wicka, baby girl. Anyway, all right. So we've got Lions news to talk about. The Detroit Lions coordinators spoke to the media yesterday. This was all the buzz, and obviously I wasn't live yesterday, so we didn't get a chance to talk about it. But Coach Shep came out on fire. Coach Shep came out on fire. He talked about accountability. He talked about injured players. If you're injured, get off the field, come out the game. We ain't got time for those excuses. We're not doing none of that this year. He came out and he said the standard is the standard, and he expects much, much more from these players. He expects much, much more from the coaches. He expects much, much more from the organization, point blank, period. And he said everything that needed to be addressed has been addressed and will be addressed, right? It's about doing your damn job. It was about Bill Belichick, right? Because the Patriot way was to do your damn job. I don't know what the Patriot way is right now. It definitely don't look like the Tar Heel way. I don't know what it is. But do your damn job is a thing that Shep was alluding to. Now, when Johnny Moe came out there and was all, yeah, you know, he's good. He will help us. His role will be expanded. When he was all monotone and all low energy, there was a very, very sharp contrast between the two people. So much so that everybody believes that Johnny Morton is going to be fired. Nobody believes that Shep will be fired. It's week 2. Why are we talking about firing anybody? Now, I know you guys think that Mike McDaniel will be available, and he probably will, because the Miami Dolphins are a dumpster fire. Let me just tell you that the Miami Dolphins have a quarterback that is one hit away from the ICU. Everyone is one hit, but he's, and I don't mean to make fun, but his brain is in danger, right? You know the Ralph gif when he's in the back of the bus? I'm in danger. That is Tua's brain. He's one hit away, and he doesn't know how to protect himself He actually hurls himself into danger. Then you got Mike McDaniel, who is the biggest beta male that you can see on the sideline. We don't like Matt LaFleur. Matt LaFleur is the alphaist of the alphas when it comes to him and Mike McDaniel, comparing the two. Tyreek Hill allegedly is a serial domestic violence committer. Allegedly. This has been alleged by his current ex-wife. I don't know if you call her the ex. They're going through the divorce proceedings and things of that nature. It's just a dumpster fire. Mike McDaniel has lost the locker room. He's lost the team. Nobody respects him. He will be fired probably this season and maybe in the middle of the season. But that's not what we're looking at. We are on to Chicago. Let me say what up, though, to the people in the chat. What up, though, Justin Fan? What up, though, Motown Sports and Travel? What up, though, Brent DeWitt? What is going on? Motown Sports and Travel says Javid best like. Yeah. It pains me to say that Tua's concussion situation is reminiscent of Javid Best, who was my favorite Lions running back after Barry Sanders until Jahmyr Gibbs came along. I mean, Reggie Bush was good, too. I like Reggie Bush. But now what we're talking about is not who's getting fired, who's getting replaced, who's getting demoted, who's getting promoted. We don't care about any of that. Right now, we are in a situation where Johnny Moe said, we're in the fix-it business. Well, guess what? You better do it. You better fix it. Guys, if you haven't seen the NFC North report, I'm trying to do it as it comes along, trying to test to see what is the better way to do it. So I've decided that I'm going to do it in whatever the games are. So I did one for the Packers game. So it's called NFC North Report Week 2 or NFC North Report Packers Week 2. So then we'll have a Vikings Week 2, and then we'll have obviously the Bears and the Lions will be together because they're playing each other. All right. So whenever NFC North teams are playing each other, we'll just talk about that game in itself. But whenever they play other people, like the Vikings are playing the Falcons this weekend, so we'll talk about the Vikings and how they fared and what they look like and so on and so forth. Shout out to JJ McCarthy for now he's got dad strength. Okay? If you thought he was good last week, now he's got dad strength. He's going to be even better. So yes, people are freaking out about the Johnny Morton thing, but Johnny Moe said we are in the fix-it business, and he also believes that the things that we need to fix are easy. The miscommunication and all that stuff that was happening is easy fix. Now I want to ask you guys in the chat, if you happen to watch the Packers and the Washington Commanders last night, did you feel better about what happened to the Detroit Lions, or did you feel worse? I'm going to tell you that I didn't know how to feel. Okay? I felt worse about the prospect of who the Packers are than it made me feel anything really about the Lions. Now, let me explain what I mean. I watched the Packers bottle up Jaden Daniels. I watched the Packers bottle up Jahmyr Gibbs. I watched that. I watched Jahmyr Gibbs set the record for 10 catches with the least amount of yards in the NFL ever. But then I also watched the Green Bay Packers put Jaden Daniels in the box. He had 7 scrambles without a single first down. He had 7 scrambles for 17 yards. I felt more In comparison, okay? Here's in comparison what I felt. I felt worse in comparison. I saw the Green Bay Packers at one point form a perimeter around Jayden Daniels. Jayden Daniels tried to run out of the pocket, and it was like a perimeter was formed. Okay, y'all know, we know what perimeters look like. We from Detroit, right? We know what a perimeter looks like. Okay, they formed a perimeter. It was like a moving perimeter too. He went left, the perimeter went left. He went right, the perimeter went right. He went forward, the perimeter came down towards him. They caged him up. And why I felt worse is because I never, ever, ever have seen the Detroit Lions defense do that. I've never seen the Detroit Lions do that. Now, Shep said one good thing about what they did to Jordan Love was that they kept him in the pocket, because in years past, obviously, he's gotten out of the pocket and he's hit him up. And I think he had like 4 yards rushing against the Detroit Lions, which is great. Fantastic. Wow. Awesome. But if you can't pressure the quarterback, why does he need to move out of the pocket? No, seriously, just think about this situation. If you can't pressure me, and I can sit back and be like, hey, nah, yeah, hey, yeah, hit me up after the game. Yeah. Yo, we're going to go down to Shakers and shake something. Okay. All right, we're going to go to Sizzler and we'll get some steaks. Okay. All right. Oh, that my mom in the crowd. Hey, what's up, ma? Yeah, how you doing? Yeah, hit me up after the game. You know what I'm saying? Come to the locker room, chill out with your boy. Yeah. You can come in the locker room, no problem. I tell everybody put towels on. Nah, you good. All right. I'm going to get with you, ma. Let me throw this football right quick. If I can do that, why do I need to scramble? I don't need to do anything. All I need to do is sit back there, pat the ball, talk to my friends, talk to my mom, talk to everybody. Like, you know what I'm saying? Make some phone calls, make travel plans. You know what I'm saying? Book an Expedia experience. Whatever I need to do in the pocket, I'm going to do it. So I think that was a little bit skewed that we didn't let him get out of the pocket. I don't think he was trying to get out of the pocket. Unless it was a design run, what did he need to run for? He stands in the pocket. He's a very safe space. He's not going to get hit. He's not going to get touched. He's not going to get hit. He's not going to go down. And that's the reality of his situation. So, yeah, we kept him in the pocket. And we'll see what happens tonight. Or not tonight, but we'll see what happens on Sunday when we play against the Bears. And then Caleb Williams, who loves to get out of the pocket for whatever reason, okay, even when he doesn't have to get out of the pocket, even when he's got a guy wide open right in his face, he's still going to try to get out of the pocket. He's going to escape somewhere so he can be a hero because he loves to play hero ball. So we'll see how well we are able to contain those players or that player. Well, I should say those players because we got Lamar Jackson coming. You know, and so on and so forth. Is this fixable? Can you make your defense look like the Green Bay Packers defense? The Green Bay Packers, through 2 games, have 8 sacks. And you know what? Micah Parsons only has 1. He had half a sack. I'm sorry. He has 1.5. 1.5, right? He had a sack versus Jared Goff, which they glaze and they glaze and they glaze. Guys, remember, the sack that he had against Jared Goff was the only drive in which we scored a touchdown. That sack came on the drive when Isaac Tesla said, eh. Okay? That's when that sack happened. So it really didn't affect the drive at all. At all. The most amount of points without going for 2 is what we got on that drive. We got 7. The most amount of points you can get on one drive is 8. Okay. So Micah Parsons has 1.5 sacks out of the 8. Okay. Imagine the Detroit Lions having 8 sacks and Hutch only having 1.5 of them. Can you imagine that? Because I would love that. That's why I wanted somebody like a Big Z, a Jadeveon Clowney, a Matt Judon. Shall I continue and now move into the upper echelon, or I'll just stay right there? Can we fix, because all of these fixes are supposed to be easy, can we fix the fact that Marcus Davenport is telling the media that he's not giving it his all because he wants to make sure that he stays healthy? Is that an easy fix? Before I move on to the offensive side of the ball, let me get into your comments. All right. What up, though, Mr. Big 200? What up, though, Carlos Brighton? Who's that? You can hate me now, Mackenzie, but you can't stop now, Mackenzie. You can hate me now. Okay, I'm in this. Yeah, stop singing that. I'm not. I don't do the parties. I'm just saying. All right. Aaron Glenn's got Angstrom. Oh, you mean Engstrom? Mr. Big says, I felt better, but at the same time, I hate the fact that the Packers are better than last season. Facts. Hate me going. Had me going. Carlos Brighton says, y'all crying about the same stuff on every podcast like it's week 7. We gonna cry until they fix it. Because we don't like what we see in Carlos. But I appreciate you coming through with the sub. All right. Motown says, I'm on record wanting Lions trade Stafford to Panthers for Bridgewater and 8th pick. Parsons, FYI. Well, that is all spilled milk. That is all spilled milk. Lions win Sunday, then y'all gonna whine next Tuesday after Baltimore. Carlos, you're not familiar with my content. I've been crying about Baltimore since the schedule release. It's not going to be nothing new. Motown Sports says, show me. Show us. You can hate me now says, no, they can't. Our linebackers are too slow and moving Micah all over the field. Davenport really got on my last nerve saying I'm not the man to F. WTF. Right. All right. So, the offensive side of the ball. Obviously, the Green Bay Packers sacked the very mobile Jaden Daniels 4 times. They sacked the not-so-mobile Jared Goff 4 times. The confidence level that I have in the fact that that happened I guess is a little bit higher, right? It's a little bit higher. Feeling like a lot of that was miscommunications. At the same time, I would say we did a decent job against Micah Parsons. But as I just told you, they have 8 sacks. Micah Parsons has 1.5. So he's not accounting for a large percentage of their sacks. So maybe they are just that good. Or maybe they're just that good, right? Because there's a lot that you have to account for with Micah Parsons and himself. They move Micah Parsons everywhere. I told you guys before when everyone was like, oh, they got Micah Parsons, but we got Penei Sewell. Nothing tells you that they must line Micah Parsons up over Penei Sewell. Okay, Micah Parsons isn't a center. He doesn't have to stay in the same place the entire time. Micah Parsons isn't a right guard or a right tackle who has to stay on the right side as a guard or a tackle. Now, I did suggest that they should, if they want to get funky, they could send Penei in motion, right? Walk up a tight end and then have him drop back and go in motion and match Micah Parsons wherever he is. That would have been cool. All right, a nice little wrinkle. But can we fix our offensive line woes to the point where we can both protect Jared Goff and we can open up holes for Jahmyr Gibbs and David Montgomery? Because here's the point. Johnny Mo's like, oh, it's fixable. It's easily fixable. Oh, we did an extra period in practice today, and it got fixed. It just seems too easy. A likely story. We did an extra session in practice today, and it got fixed. What up, though, Zach J? So I'm not... We did an extra session in practice today to work on, and it got fixed. I'm not so sure that it looked like just an extra session in practice would have fixed what happened in Green Bay. It seems like a great story, right? It seems like a great thing to say. But until I see the Lions look like the Lions looked last year, we're going to keep this same energy because I don't know that they can fix it. And I don't know that they can fix it because I didn't expect it to look this bad. Everything that Shep said yesterday in his press conference when he came out and he was on absolute fire, I was like, yo, I like to hear that. Oh, man, that's crazy. Shep's not playing. And just as he said, when they were asking him questions about Usama, coming in and calling the plays, he's like, I don't care who they have calling the plays. They can have Scooby-Doo calling the plays. We don't give a damn. He didn't say that. I just added that in for a fact. Thought it was pretty funny. All right. So the fact that Shep said all of these things is awesome. It's great, right? It had me wanting to run through a wall. You know what I'm saying? I wanted to jump out on the expressway and hit somebody. You know what I'm saying? And I'm sure the players want to jump out and hit somebody too. But at the end of the day, the players have to make the plays. That's what has to happen. Players must make plays. That's why they call them players. Players play. Haters want to hate. Lovers want to love. I don't even want. None of the above I want to. Hashtag if you know, use the hashtag. What up, though, K? Ain't pressed. So here's my question. And I hope this doesn't happen. But if you come out there and you had that energy as a coach, but the players don't have that same energy. And I'm sure that they will. I'm sure that they will have that same energy. It is, you can't go down 0-2. You are at home. I don't know. It's an afternoon, Monday afternoon, not Monday. For me, right? It's an afternoon game. So I don't think they're going to be in the blacks. None of that. I think they'll probably be in the blueberries. But it's a divisional opponent coming to town. And then you got the extra juice because Usama's on the other sideline. I don't know. Will they be prepared? Will this stuff be fixed? They're in the fix-it business. They better fix it before Sunday. That's all I can say. All right, let me get to some of y'all comments. Tesla is better than Raymond at wide receiver 100. Okay. Raymond just has different skill set. All right, FGB, yes, and FTB. I did an extra squat and now my legs are twice as big, says Zach J. Facts. That's how it works. You didn't know that? You didn't know that? That's how it works, right? I did an extra pull-up where I dropped down and stretched myself out, and now I'm 6'7". All right. Kay says, but where was this Micah Parsons talk last season and all the other seasons? Micah Parsons was not in Green Bay. That's where it was. No, Kay, I'm not going to block Ron. Ron is welcome here. You know, hey, that's competition. We don't have any LeBum energy here. We're not afraid of competition, right? We're not just trying to go and get all the fans to love us. You know what I mean? And play with us. You know, all the fans. We want everybody. Decker and Glasgow out or old. Manu Sorsdal. So okay, Sorsdal. Motown Sports. Please don't say his name. Number one, he's garbage. Number two, he's gonna miss the season. Sorsdal should not be mentioned this season at all. There's no reason for it. Next season, I don't expect him to be on the team. We're done with Sorsdal. Sorsdal, Sudfeld, Sudafed, all that. We're done with it. Okay? You can block Ron from Jersey Shore. Or you can't block Ron from Jersey Shore. Who's scared of the Bears? Nobody's scared of the Bears, Kay. Lions can beat down Bears 34-17. It's the top echelon teams they can't beat this year. That's what it's looking like. Okay? What up, though, Mr. Detroit City? Are you gonna do this for 5 years? Are you gonna? Are you just come troll on JMO for 5 years? I mean, because that's how much longer he's gonna be in Detroit, unless they extend him again. You know what I mean? Who's off the bandwagon? Where are we talking about? I don't know who you're talking to. I really don't. We should go get Trinity Benson. That will fix everything. Facts. All right. Let's talk about a little bit more of the news. That was obviously the opening spiel. We wanted to talk about the fix it comment. It's unfortunate the situation that Johnny Moe is in, and I'll tell you why. It's unfortunate for him because if he's not Osama bin Johnson and he's not excellent right away, the criticism is just going to mount more and more. But here's why I don't mind that. I don't mind it because if you haven't seen our schedule, it's pretty brutal, right? If you haven't seen our schedule, it's pretty brutal. Remember when Tom Brady, and I said this, and I have said this many times, when Tom Brady was winning all those Super Bowls with the Patriots, what did he say? that he didn't really care what he looked like in September. It's just you want to make sure that you're looking good in December, January, so that you can look good in February, right? Here's the thing. In September, we have the Green Bay Packers, who we now believe to be for real, possibly for real. Okay? We have the Chicago Bears, who obviously no one believes. We have the Baltimore Ravens. And then we have the Cleveland Browns, who no one believes. We've already lost to the Packers. If we get out of September at 2-2, then we look to be fine. If we get out of September at 1-3, it's going to be a problem. Because going into October, you've got the Cincinnati Bengals with Joe Burrow, Jamar Chase, and T. Higgins and Trey Hendrickson, and then you've got the Chiefs, and so on and so forth. The point is that it's a murderer's row of a schedule, and it's not one that gives us a lot of time to fix things. So as he said, we're in the fix-it business. Oh, we did an extra session in practice and it's fixed. Better be fixed. And that's just the nature of the beast. That's the nature of the position that he's in. He doesn't have time. He doesn't have any leeway. Johnny Moe has got to be the best version of Johnny Moe right now. That's what the fans are going to say. That's what the media is going to say. Fair or unfair, that's just the situation that he's in. Okay? The people inside of the building are going to back him. The people inside of the building are going to give him all of this praise and this leeway and this time. But guess who else was supposed to be good and supposed to have time and supposed to have leeway? Anthony Lynn. And Anthony Lynn was also a friend of Dan Campbell. Dan Campbell will fire you if that's what needs to happen. So Johnny Morton is in a situation already where he must poop or get off of the pot. Fair or unfair? That's just the way it is. We don't have a fourth place schedule. We don't have a third place schedule. We have a first place schedule. And it's rough. And it ain't going to be easy. So we need this offense to be clicking on all cylinders. I expect for the offense to look a whole hell of a lot better than it looked in Green Bay. You cannot have another performance where our superstar running back duo, who's been the most potent duo in the league for the last couple of years, where they get 2.1 yards per carry, where they have 20 carries for less than 50 yards. Can't have that. You can't have this dude who's supposed to be your weapon, who you take the top off of defense with and stretch it out, get 4 catches for 23 yards. The only person that got off on the offense was Sam Laporta. He had 79 yards. So you need to dial back your route concepts, make them quicker, make them work until you are sure that this offensive line is going to be able to communicate and is going to be able to hold blocks for more time. I mean, they didn't do a poor job. He had like an average of 3 seconds to throw. But when you're just trying to go deep, deep, deep all the time, pause. And your routes are slow developing, and it's taking people a while to get open, you're going to need more than 3 seconds. So you're either going to have to block for 5 seconds or you're going to have to change your route concepts. I think changing the route concepts is probably something that's going to be an easier and quicker fix. That's all I'm saying. All right. Let's see. Looking at your comments. K, you're scared of everyone. What? K is a top-notch troll. You are scared of everybody. You scared of the Bears. You are scared of the Packers. You are scared of everybody. And all you say is, oh, somebody, they gonna tear our ass up. They tearing our ass up. That's all you say. You're scared of everyone. That's why you changed your name from K Ain't Pressed, because you was always pressed. Your name was very ironic. She's talking about it don't matter where he's at. I'm not scared of Micah Parsons. Y'all is. Stop it. Stop it. Stop the cat. Okay? Caleb reminds me of Cutler, LOL. That's not great. It's Micah Parsons. It's Michael Parsons, if you know, you know. Michael. We got a lot of picks and assets for Michael in the trade. Is Wayne Brady going to have to choke him? No, that... I don't know if Mr. Detroit City, if you were reacting to the song, but that wasn't Wayne Brady. It was Chappelle. Haters want to hate, lovers want to love. I don't even want none of the above. I want to. You know what I'm saying? Lions got paid. They sitting fat in their Ford's limos. I don't think that's what's happening. So predict the score this Sunday. I'll get to that, Ron. Facts, quick slants. Cutler enjoys the company of women. Correct yourself. Brother, apparently Caleb Williams has the same nail tech as Angel Reese. Because you know Angel Reese plays for the Chicago Sky. That's wild, bro. That is freaking wild. All right. Kirby Joseph is on the injury report. If you didn't know, it says the Detroit Lions have a new injury concern on their hands ahead of the Week 2 game against the Chicago Bears, and it is with safety Kirby Joseph. After not appearing on the injury report over the first 2 days of the week, Joseph was added on Friday as a limited participant and now questionable to play. Okay, so again, I said before, questionable when they were talking about Micah Parsons is questionable. Questionable is the new probable. So don't worry about Kirby Joseph not playing. I believe he's going to play. He's questionable. If he gets downgraded to doubtful, then that's going to be a problem. So as long as his designation stays the same, or he gets upgraded, or doesn't get downgraded, then he should be fine. If Kirby Joseph can't play, you should worry because you don't have any other safeties. There is no safety depth. The only person that you could have would be Rock Ya-Sin. And if y'all remember, Rock Ya-Sin was apparently busy holding while Brian Branch was getting a pick six. So he got called back. So that is that there. Let's get some more news and headlines here. All right. So we are in the wrong. Yeah, there. Okay. So Lions LB out. Running back doubtful. 2 key players questionable against the Bears. Let's go ahead and look here. So the linebacker that is out is, because we're talking about injury report. Trevor Nowatzki will not play, and running back Sione Vaki was listed as questionable. As we said, Kirby Joseph popped up on the injury report with a knee injury and is also listed as questionable. All right. Taylor Decker is expected to play, for those of you that were wondering about Taylor. And what else we have? Shout out to my man Khamir Gibbs. He will be wearing Jordans. Khamir Gibbs joins Jordan Brand in New Deal. So he's not a Nike guy. He's a Jordan guy. Those Jordan cleats are going to go hard AF. I'm just telling you. I'm telling you. Let that man come out in the 12s with the patent leather. You don't talk about it. All right. Let me see here. Now, the reason that Taylor Decker, we had some concern about it is because he missed 3 straight practices, but he is expected to play. Dan Campbell came out and said that he wants to play. And obviously we know with the Frank Ragnow situation, what happened last year when Frank had the torn pec, but he went and he pushed Dan Campbell in the hallway to show that he had his strength and all this other stuff. So if Taylor Decker wants to play and he feels good enough to play, it's a tough call, obviously, with the Lions medical staff, but I think that he'll play. What up, though, Robert Stevens? Zach J says, is this the last year of Decker's contract, or does he have one more? I feel like it's the last year. Let me see. Taylor Decker's contract is, oh my goodness. Nah, he's good. Taylor Decker's contract is up after the 2027 NFL season. So he's got 2025, 2026, and 2027. So he's got 3 more years. 3 more years. 3 more years. The date of his extension was July 29, 2024. The contract length was 3 years. So, yeah, he just got extended last season. If this information is correct. Yeah, Decker has 3 more. Decker equals Walking Dead. Now, will he finish out the contract? And it depends on how well his body holds up. So it says Lion. Now I know you guys will like this. So this is about Terrion Arnold. It says Lions send direct message to cornerback, learn from your mistakes. This is Detroit Lions on SI by The Doc. The Detroit Lions have high expectations for cornerback Terrion Arnold, a former first-round draft pick. Arnold is a major reason the coaching staff has elevated expectations for the secondary and for the defense. Against the Green Bay Packers, the former Alabama Crimson Tide defensive back was picked on early with mixed results. While he had past breakups and showcased growth, the Packers learned something from the Lions game against the San Francisco 49ers to use against the young defender. New defensive coordinator Kelvin Shepard directly shared with reporters what his expectations are for the players on defense. He did not mince words when explaining Arnold's need to learn from his past mistakes, as he is now a professional NFL football player. By learning from previous mistakes, you guys have been around here. We got the exact same play as San Francisco last year, said Shepard. Turn it on. 49ers Ricky Pearsall. Learn from your mistakes. You're a professional. Early in the game, Arnold did injure his groin, something he tried to play through, but didn't tell that to the former NFL linebacker. The expectation is there are no excuses, and if there was anything that was preventing Arnold from executing, he should have taken himself out of the game. So here's the thing with that play. It's an illegal play. I don't know how you can learn from your mistakes when you get picked, because is your mistake not getting the flag thrown? Because it's an illegal play, right? You can't just stop in front of a person. If you are running a pick play, you must look like you are running a route. It must seem that you're doing something that you would normally be doing in a situation where you're going out for a pass. You cannot block a player while the ball is in the air. You cannot stop in front of them and impede their progress, right? You cannot fall down at their feet and start rolling around back and forth to stop them from getting to where they're going. It is an illegal play. It should have been flagged. Had the Detroit Lions run the same play, especially with Clete Blakeman out there, it would have been called. I'm not blaming the refs. I'm just saying you can't learn from something illegal happening to you. You know, now, here's the thing. Also, if you wanted to run through the pick, you would have got flagged, right? They would have flagged you for pass interference or whatever the case may be. However, it didn't matter because they scored on that play anyway. Let's see. What's not good? Tyreek Hill took Decker as in deck her. All right. Void year is his last year. Void year. I don't know, but if it's a void year, they would need to extend him because if they cut him in a void year, that's going to be bad for the cap. If we are not where we need to be come trade deadline, I would strongly consider trading Decker. What are you going to get for Decker? That's the thing. If you're trading him away, that means he's on his last legs, and you're probably going to get a 6th or 7th round pick. I don't know. Yeah. Okay, so here's the thing with Ron Winarski, and here's the thing that you have to understand. Osama bin Johnson cannot have a revenge game. Osama bin Johnson was allowed to go and get a head coaching job. He was not blocked by the Detroit Lions, which you can't do anyway. He was prepared by Dan Campbell countless hours to become a head coach. The Detroit Lions prepared for him to leave. You can't get revenge on someone who has afforded you every opportunity. Revenge is what you get on someone who has wronged you. That's why it would be a revenge game for the Detroit Lions, not Osama bin Johnson, because Osama bin Johnson stayed within the division. Had Osama bin Johnson done what Aaron Glenn did, which go to a completely different conference, we would have wished him nothing but the best, just like we do with Aaron Glenn. And if we have to play Aaron Glenn and the New York Jets, it would be in the Super Bowl. And then it wouldn't be a situation where you suck, we hate you, blah, 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 blah. No, it's just you're in the way of getting to that Lombardi. So we love you, AG, but not today. We can love you after the game, after the confetti is falling, after we're hoisting the Lombardi. You understand what I'm saying? So no, there is no revenge game for Osama bin Johnson. I know you just wanted to be spoken to, Ron, but it's fine. It's fine. Put your money where your mouth is. Because I ain't reading none of your bear downs or none of that stuff unless you put it in the super chat. You put it in the super chat, I'll read it. You know? And that goes for any of you other Bears fans that want to come in here and say anything. Any Packers fans, Bears fans, Vikings fans, any fans from the NFC North. If you come into my stream, put your money where your mouth is in the super chat. Now, the super chat's not a punishment at all, but I'm just saying, for, the Lions fans, we read your stuff anyway. Bears fans, Packers fans, Vikings fans, you don't get no love around here, so you got to put your money where your mouth is. Because y'all be saying bull crap anyway. Y'all be on some bull drive. Skip. You on some bull drive. All right. Um, his contract off your books. Yeah, I mean, I guess. Yeah. Let's see. Brad Holmes is always looking to upgrade. Who's better than Decker that we can actually get? I mean, generally, you don't have people that are better than starting tackles on the trade market, unless, again. So here's the thing: if you're not where you want to be come the trade deadline, that means you're probably not making the playoffs. So at that point, you become the seller. So if you're trading Taylor Decker, you got to find another seller so that you can be a buyer, if that makes sense, right? So I don't think if you've got a top tier tackle, you're gonna trade him for any reason, unless it's like the last year of his deal and you know he's not coming back, so you try to get some assets back for him. But getting assets back for him doesn't mean Taylor Decker. So you would have to give away Taylor Decker plus picks to get whoever this person is. That's the only way that I can see that a trade gets done. Um, he would need to target a top LT in the draft. Decker has struggled to stay healthy the last couple seasons. I can't imagine in the next three. I hope Taylor Decker can stay healthy because I really, really, I know we're gonna have to replenish the offensive line. I want to ask you guys a question, and I'll put this to you because I don't know if everyone realizes this. What are the two top highest paid positions in the NFL? Let's have a conversation. What are the two top highest paid positions in the NFL? No, it's QB and edge. There are no tackles getting $50 million a year. So it's QB and edge. Why do you think that is? The quarterback is the guy that distributes and he puts your team on his back and he makes plays and he touches the ball every single play, unless you're doing some wildcat stuff. The edge is a guy that is tasked with stopping the quarterback, with getting to the quarterback. Wide receiver is not it, guys. It doesn't really keep changing every year. It's consistently the quarterback and the edge position. Okay? We're talking about we're talking about paying Hutch $50 million a year simply because Micah Parsons is getting $47 million a year. If Micah Parsons has never gotten less than 12 sacks in his entire in every year of his career, even last year when he missed 4 games, he got 13 sacks. If Micah Parsons is getting $47 million a year, and Hutch is getting, let's say Hutch gets more than that. Let's say Hutch gets 50 million. And Brad Holmes keeps telling you that we don't need to rush the passer except from one spot. And then Brad Holmes gets up in front of the podium and takes a victory lap after drafting an edge rusher in the 6th round. And then you look at what the Philadelphia Eagles were able to do in the Super Bowl against Patrick Mahomes. And you look at our style of playing defense. Do you think that we will ever have a Super Bowl winning defense under Brad Holmes if he continues to think this is the answer? That's my question. Because I know people be like, let Brad cook, and, Brad is the best GM ever. And I keep telling y'all, someone did this before. Maybe not to the multiple years as, 12-5 and 15-2, and we didn't see things like that. But someone built a team before that people thought could take us to the Super Bowl. And that guy was Martin Mayhew. Martin Mayhew made a couple mistakes in the same year, which pushed him out of the door, and now no one has any respect for him. They don't have any respect for what he did while he was here. The mistakes that he made were not re-signing Ndamukong Suh, knowing that you weren't going to re-sign Ndamukong Suh, passing on Aaron Donald so you could draft Eric Ebron. And now everyone hates Martin Mayhew. So that's my question. Zach J says, depends on who gets a contract from Brad Holmes next. They are always the highest paid. 40 to 47 million to get after the top paid players in the league, i.e. quarterback. Correct. I almost forgot we are playing the kittens this. Oh, my God. Brad has an eye for D tackles. If I was a GM, I would have so many OL, DL picks. You would hate me during draft season and love me come regular season. JMO is going to win the Super Bowl this season. You watch. JMO's contract is very, very reasonable. I don't know if you know that. If you go and you look at some of these other wide receiver 1-2 contracts that they're getting, I mean, look at T. Higgins' contract. Okay. I mean, that's just the question that I have because, at the end of the day, I said the Green Bay Packers have 4 sacks per game. The Detroit Lions have 0 sacks. If you watch the Monday night game with Caleb against the Vikings defense had a hard time bringing him down as well. He's slippery in the pocket, pause. He's shifty in the pocket. Now, he'll run himself into some sacks, but he'll also run himself out of some and keep his eyes downfield and fire a dart and a dagger. And if you don't have people plastering coverage, which we had a very hard time doing in Green Bay, plastering the man that we were supposed to be on while the scramble drill is taking place, you're going to have busted coverages. We already know Osama bin Johnson can design an offense. We all know that. Right? So if we let Caleb Williams run around, that's good and bad. It's potentially good, it's potentially bad. Wherever the play falls. Right? It's like he's a chicken with his head cut off. You never know which direction he's going to go in. Okay? He's going to run himself into a sack. So we will probably have a sack or 2 at least. Hell, he might even run into Marcus Davenport and get him a sack while he's running away from Hutch. Caleb Williams makes their offensive line worse. Caleb Williams was the most sacked quarterback in the National Football League last season while having the most amount of time to throw the football. Okay? His average time to throw the football on a sack was 4 seconds. But if we don't get to the quarterback and we just let him sit back there and pick us apart, I don't know how long the philosophy that we have of only rushing the passer from one side is going to work. They've talked up El-Quadin Muhammad. El-Quadin Muhammad was supposed to have, I don't know, he had 7 snaps. He was supposed to have like 13 more. So if I don't know what to tell y'all, man. If the pass rush doesn't get fixed, you see where football is going. In our division, we have 4 teams. 3 of them have mobile quarterbacks. We are facing, off the top of my head, 5 more mobile quarterbacks outside of our division this year. Lamar Jackson, Jaden Daniels, Jalen Hurts, Joe Burrow, Patrick Mahomes. Hell, by the time we get to New York, you might be facing another one in Jackson Dart. So it's very, very important for us to get to the passer. This is my focus for the season, and I'm very not encouraged by what I saw from Marcus Davenport and what he says out of his mouth. If he's running around trying to make sure that he doesn't get injured, you're hurting your team because you're not giving maximum effort. And generally, we know playing football, trying not to get hurt is the quickest way to get hurt. So that's my spiel. I do expect the Lions to beat the Bears. I just think there's too much going against the Bears in this situation. We got embarrassed in Green Bay. Everyone in the building is angry. Okay? Everyone in the building is angry. The Chicago Bears are probably like, we played well. We just need to finish. So I don't think there's the amount of anger in that building. Obviously, he's going to be very So here's another thing. Another thing to watch for. Watch for the interaction between Osama bin Johnson and Caleb Williams. Their relationship, I think, is going to very quickly deteriorate. I think it's going to be on the level of Sean McVay and Jared Goff. Every time Caleb Williams makes a mistake, Osama bin Johnson crashes out. Like, you can see, like, the temper is flaring, his nostrils are flaring, he's turning red in the face, he's dropping F-bombs. He's very, very animated, very, very angry whenever Caleb Williams does the slightest anything. So I think watching that's Bears keeping that Bears, right? That Bears keeping an eye on throughout the season. The Osama bin Johnson, Caleb Williams dynamic. There are already people in Chicago calling for Tyson Bagent. Because Caleb Williams looked bad in the fourth quarter. He started out the game 10 for 10. But then he turned back into Caleb Williams. Because he loves to play hero ball. So make sure you keep an eye on that. So there's going to be that. There's going to be Osama wanting to stick it to the fans in Detroit because he probably feels some type of way about the way that we tell him to kiss our ass, and we hope he fails miserably in Chicago. He probably feels some kind of way about that, even though he's the one that went to Chicago. No one took him to Chicago. No one made him go to Chicago. He made that choice. So I think with all the things happening and the Lions being super duper angry, I think there's going to be an energy that you see and that you can feel in Ford Field. And I think the Lions are going to go out there and get it done. I'm going to say, obviously I want to say 34 something, but I don't know how much this offense is going to put up. So I'm just going to keep it pedestrian. I'll say 21-17. 24-17? Yeah, okay. We'll go 24-17 Detroit Lions. That's what I'm predicting. And as far as the Pick'em app, I'm still dealing with the session persistence. So everything is set up, everything is working. I'm just trying to fix the part where you sign out and then you come back in and you're out of the league and everything else everything's back to zero. So we can't have that. So once I get that fixed, I'll get it out there. Hey, it's a trial run. So hopefully next season it'll be available for the entire season. And I'll be trying to create a suite of apps. So then I'll have the mock draft app. I'll get back on that one and all these things. Everything for the fantasy football, all that stuff. So I'm going to have, hopefully by next season, I will have a suite of 3 working apps for the fanatical football fan: the fantasy football app, the Pick'em app, and the mock draft app. All of these things are probably just going to be free, especially the Pick'em thing. I don't want to do anything with gambling or make any money off of gambling. So, it'll all be free stuff. And eventually when it gets big enough, I'll probably just have those little ads down there in the corner, which don't really bother anybody. So that's how I will get paid for my time and effort in trying to get this stuff done. But that is it. So we will go mailbag. What you gonna do? What you gonna do when they reading you? Mailbag. Six. Mailbag. Get your mailbag questions in. Bask in it. All right. Let me look at some of your comments while you guys are thinking of your mailbag questions. I was actually pleasantly surprised by J-Mo's contract. Look at Philly top draft picks on the D-line. Facts. T. Higgins can barely reach 1K. No, please don't run into Davenport. He will be out for the season. I surely hope he doesn't run into Davenport. It might hurt him. He will get a high ankle sprain again. Robert Stevens says just win. Ron Winarski, I think you meant super chat. So, if you're not super chatting it, I'm not reading your prediction. Again, Ron Winarski, you can try, but it just doesn't work. It doesn't work. You will not get your stuff read online, especially if it's something against the Lions. You won't get it read online. No, you won't get it read on the stream. It'll just be there, and you have to wonder if anyone actually read it. Was anyone in the heavyweight stream when Anton Daniels came in there? If anybody knows Anton Daniels, tell him to come to my stream. Tell him to come to my stream. Give your boys some subscribers, and I just want him to raid my stream, so I can get get my get back up to 1,000. Because I did a lot of work for another situation that I was in and got them to like 1,500. And wish I hadn't done that. But some of the people, not all of the people have found me. Not all of the people know where I am. There's still people coming in, finding me like, oh, I didn't know you were, oh, was that you? Is that you, chef? Right. So, months later, I still get that sometimes. So all of the people that were over there with me have not found me yet, but it is what it is. So that's why we got to like and share so that everyone can get over here. Mailbag from Zach J says, how many Rons does it take to change a light bulb? None, because the Bears never play lights out. Ooh, that was a good one. Yeah, that was a nice one, Zach J. Ron, do you have a response? Do you have a response that has a price tag? I just want to know. Nah, I don't know. I don't know what I'm gonna do. I'm telling y'all right now. I'm trying to think of a plan. I'm trying to think of a. I don't know what I'm gonna do. Okay. Cause that game on Sunday is 3 a.m. Monday morning for me. I don't know what I'm gonna do. I don't know when I'm gonna sleep. I don't know what's gonna happen. But it is what it is. We're gonna be there, whether I gotta have 5 Red Bulls. I don't know what's gonna happen. But I'm telling you what, I'm not gonna go to bed at a regular time and be able to get up at 3 a.m. Because my regular bedtime is like 1 a.m. 1:30 sometimes. I went to bed last night at like 2:30. Okay. So there's no way I'm doing that plus getting up at 3 to stream. So I'm going to have to figure something out. I'm going to have to figure some things out until daylight savings time on both ends. I think this happens in like November. We may be October over here where the first one happens. So then I'll be 15 hours ahead. So then those games will be at 4. But at some point, like I think it's around November, a little bit before Thanksgiving, those games go to 5 a.m. for me. So once they're 5 a.m., it's fine. 3 a.m., boy, rough, struggle. Last year, we didn't not have a whole lot of 1 p.m. games. I haven't even checked that. I would guess that we've got a lot of non-1 p.m. games. Right? Is our Ravens game 1 p.m.? I don't think it is. Let me see. What time is Ravens Lions? Yeah. So Ravens Lions is the Sunday night or the Monday night game. Yeah. So we, you know what I mean? So we're good. Monday Night Football, Ravens Lions. Mailbag, who will ball out for Detroit this week? I hope the entire offensive line balls out. That's, that's a good question. I think Hutch gets at least 1 sack. Everything is predicated on if they've actually fixed anything. If they've fixed the offensive line communication problems, and I think they should have. Again, I'll keep saying this. When we started out 1-6 in 2022, the turnaround happened once they simplified the defense. We went 8-2, and we had an extremely good defense down the stretch. Because whatever happened in Lambeau happened to us in week 1, they've had the ability to say, we probably should simplify some things. And that's what Dan Campbell said. Right, we need to get to the bread and butter first before we start trying to have the fancy feast. If they've simplified things well enough and they fix things well enough, I think JMO could have a big game. I think Jahmyr Gibbs could have a big game. David Montgomery. The offense could look like the offense. So if they fix the line, then the offense should look like the offense. But that's a big if. Because, we had one extra session and everything is good. And that's what you do in the fix-it business. We need Williams to ball out. Facts. What up, though, JSJ? I do think Decker is playing. I know he wants to play, and he said he wants to play, so we'll see. But I think he's playing. Ron Winarski, super chat, man. Robert Stevens, Tyleik Williams. I'm trying to think who their center is. I mean, if we can get pressure in Caleb's face, that would be pretty huge. Because if you can get pressure up the middle, then he's going to turn around and run to the edges, and that's where Hutch will be waiting. It would be amazing to see Hutch have a 4-sack game, 4.5 sacks like he had against the the Buccaneers. It would be awesome. So yeah, there's just got to be a lot of emphasis on line play. The line will fix everything, and we just need to get to the quarterback, man. I'm just tired of watching other defenses understand that the guy that has the ball and the guy that you pay the most to stop the guy that has the ball are the two most important positions. And even if you're only paying one guy like Hutch, which you haven't paid yet, but even if you're only paying one guy elite money, it doesn't mean that you can't go out and get other guys who can do similar things, but at a lesser level. Zadarius Smith, Jadeveon Clowney, Matthew Judon, all those guys could have been here, but you ain't paying all of them, right? But you could have taken your pick. Jadeveon Clowney is not signed yet. He's the only one. He took a visit to the Dallas Cowboys. No word on him taking a visit to the Detroit Lions because they're just not going to sign him. Because Brad Holmes thinks that they're good. It almost makes you root against, because just so you can go, hey, this is necessary. Like, I just want you to wake up and realize. All right, Ron Winowski with the $2 super chat. He says Lions' entire team needs to be fixed. Bear down. So I told you it was a super chat. Appreciate the super chat, and I read it. You follow the rules. I follow the rules too. You playing the game. I'm playing the game too. You saying my name. I'm saying your name too. Robert Stevens says a Bears fan would know. So yeah, man. I need just get after Caleb Williams, bro. He loves to run around anyway. Make him run around. Or it might be, look, for Caleb, you might just want to drop 11 back into coverage. And let him run around for no reason. I don't know, bro. JSJ says after the Packers-Commanders game, I don't think we are not that bad. The Packers are just that good. I mean, I felt something similar. It felt gross. It made me want to throw up, but I felt it. But we can't have those miscommunications on the offensive line. We just can't. We just can't have it. So we'll see what happens. I guess. Here's your $2. Hey man, as I said, you know, the Packers seem to be weeks ahead. They do. It's just so like it's the Packers narratives that are good. I have to stay away from national media for the entire season. Like I just the people that have been slobbing on Jordan Love's knob pause for all this time, and it's like again, you're gonna do it again because he's had 2 games. Um, so you're gonna not watch the entire season. So we'll see what happens. But if they can keep him clean and keep him uninjured, like he's such a lame, bro. Like he's such a lame. When he had that run against the Commanders and he got up and he was like, "What should I do to celebrate?" And he's just such a lame. Like him and like Rome. You know who I hate? You know who I hate? This is I hate Romeo Doubs. Okay? Because Romeo Doubs wears that waterhead helmet and he has the dirtiest braids ever. They're like frizzy. Just, ugh. He just looks dirty. I hate him. Fix your braids, bro. You make money. Right? You didn't get the big contract yet, but you make enough money to go get your freaking hair braided. Like he looked like he done had the braids in the entire offseason. Take them out, bro. It's nasty. It's nasty. It stinks. It looks like a 2-pack of ass. F are you talking about? All right, Robert Stephens. LaFleur gets a haircut at halftime. All right, y'all. I'm gonna go ahead and get out of here too. Like I said, I'm gonna work on this app. If it because all it's gonna take is just one, just a couple minutes. It gets done. I log out, log back in. Everything else is it stays. We're finished. So I'll put it in the Discord when it's finished, and then you can share it out to your friends. Create your leagues. Obviously, I'll have this league for the Motor City Cat subscribers, and so on and so forth. All right. Appreciate y'all once again. The Motor City Cats are indeed back at it. We came to give you stats and not none of that static. Whatever you do, make sure you keep your Lions news pragmatic, and we are out. Peace. We'll see you on Sunday.